Sometimes a series is just not for you. Yeah. G'day to all you lovely people and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to give you a list of 10 fantasy series that I am not continuing with, that I am DNFing or will not finish because they didn't work for me. Not necessarily because I hated them. They just, for one reason or another, didn't appeal to me and I'm not interested in continuing with them. And as a bonus, I'm also going to include 3 mystery series that I'm not going to continue with either because, again, I didn't like them. And I should point out that whilst at this point I don't believe I will ever continue with these series, never say never. Things change. We change. As readers, as people, it might be that I'll decide in the future to pick something up and try it again. It might. Unlikely, but it's always possible. I should also point out that usually I don't give up on a series unless I've finished at least one book. There are exceptions to this. There are some books that you just can't finish, and for someone like me who does not DNF many books, that's usually a very strong indicator that this book or series is not going to work for me. So keep that in mind. So let's start first with the 3 mystery series that I'm not continuing with. The first is Maisie Dobbs by, I think it is Jacqueline Winspear. Now, I really thought this series would work for me. It is about a character set in, I think, the 20s in London, smart, educated, in a man's world at that point, but I really found myself not enjoying this book. One was that the author, I felt, didn't address some of the issues a female detective would have faced in the 20s in London. I didn't love the writing. I found it quite repetitive. I found the character very dull, surprisingly so. And when we got to a flashback sequence that involved a romance, I just gave up. I thought, no, this is not what I want in my mysteries. And yeah, I have no intention of going back to this series in the future. The second series that I have given up on is the Lord Peter Wimsey series by Dorothy L. Sayers. I read a lot of articles where it was stated Sayers was a better writer than Agatha Christie, so I thought I should try her books. Yeah, I think I've read 5, maybe even more than that. Her character, Lord Wimsey, either you like him or you hate him. And I was kind of very lukewarm about him, though I didn't like how pompous he was. But it was the author's elitism which really got under my skin. I did not like the way she portrayed anyone who wasn't an aristocrat, and I didn't find her mysteries all that intriguing. She was more concerned, it seemed to me, about how done it rather than who done it. So I decided that I don't think this is a series I will continue. There's always the possibility I'll go back and read one more, but at this point, yeah, I think I'm done with Lord Peter Wimsey. Yeah. And the last murder mystery series that I'm not continuing with is the Sophie Hannah Hercule Poirot series. She was authorised by the estate of Christie to write more Poirot books. After I finished all the Poirot books by Christie, I wanted more, so I bought a whole bunch of these second-hand. I read one and then I finished the rest. I had 5, I think, altogether. I started off not disliking her portrayal of Poirot. I did not like the sidekick at all. and I could definitely do without him. But I did have some issues, and the more books I read, the less I liked her portrayal of Poirot, and the less I liked the mysteries. They seemed unrealistic and quite unbelievable. And in the end, I thought, no, I prefer to go back and reread Christie or try another author rather than continuing with these. But I feel like I gave it a good try, given that I read 5. Yeah. So now let's move on to the fantasy or sci-fi series that I'm not continuing with. And I know that some of these are going to be an unpopular opinion, but we all have different tastes, right? Yeah. First, I'm going to start with 3 series, I think it is, where I did not even finish the first book. So no surprise, I had no interest in continuing. The first is the Shannara series by Terry Brooks. I completely forgot about this one, actually. But as I was going through this list, I realised that I tried the first book, didn't like it, and gave up on it. I tried to read that back in the 90s, and if I recall correctly, I didn't read all that much of that book. So part of me feels like maybe I need to give it another go, and part of me is like, I don't know if I want to. From my recollection, which is vague because we're going back 30 years now, I think one of the reasons I didn't finish that book is it just felt a rehash of series I'd already read and really loved, and I wasn't that impressed with the writing. But it is, I think, Terry Brooks's first book, which I feel maybe I was a bit harsh back then. So who knows? This might be one I will retry in the future. Might though. It's possible that I'll give him another go. I might even try to get to the second book and see if I like that better. Usually I am easier on an author's first book, but that one I just couldn't get into. But at this point, I'm calling it a DNF. I'm calling the series a DNF. Number 2 is another series where I did not finish the first book because I really didn't enjoy it. And that is the Murderbot series by Martha Wells. I'd heard so much about it. It is a really short book. You could even call it a novella, and I still could not finish it. I think I got to 75%, and I was so tired of the robot and the lack of real plot or world building. I got tired of these very superficial characters and decided I didn't care. Now, perhaps I should have finished the first book. Maybe I'll go back and try to read that last 25%, whatever it was. But honestly, I'm just not interested. I didn't find it charming. I didn't find it funny. I didn't find it at all appealing. So I think I can safely say that the Murderbot series is not for me. Yeah. And perhaps that's unfair of me to not at least finish the first book. Doesn't matter. Number 3. And this is going to be an unpopular opinion. I know that, but so be it. The Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb. I tried to read Assassin's Apprentice back in the 90s, I think late 90s, and I couldn't get through it. I think I read around half, might be a bit more, a bit less, and I found it so excruciatingly dull. It felt like there was no movement in pace, or it was a glacial pace. I felt so bored with the character of Fitz. He did not appeal to me whatsoever, and it also felt like other things I'd already read and done much better, in my opinion. Now, it was a long time ago that I read this, and I have considered going back, but all I can recall about that book is how bored it made me. So I'm not tempted to return to it. And whilst there is always a possibility that I might go back to this series, I don't think it's likely. So for now, it is definitely a series I am DNFing. The next one, this is also Robin Hobb, and this is The Live Ship Traders. Unlike the Farseer trilogy, I did finish the first book, Ship of Magic, and I hated it. I really did. This didn't work for me. I had left it about a third or halfway in for 2 years because I was not enjoying it. I found it a real slog and I did not like the characters. I finally got back to it this year and really didn't enjoy myself. And at the end, I decided I am definitely not continuing with that series. It's just not for me. Next is the Empire of the Wolf series by Richard Swan. The first book is The Justice of Kings. This one should have been right up my alley. It involves magistrates traveling around this world. It has magic and elements of horror, and yet it didn't work for me. It is written in the first person and I detest it, the narrator. It's been a long time since I've hated a character as much as I hated this narrator, and that unfortunately destroyed my enjoyment of the book. Part of me wants to continue since I own the other 2 books in hardcover even, but this narrator, I just found her insufferable, intolerable, so I don't think I can. Unfortunately, this one is going to be a DNF. Again though, who knows, maybe I'll change my mind in a few years and decide to give the second book a try. Maybe. Unlikely. I don't think I'm going to forget in a hurry how much I hated the narrator. Yeah. Next is 3 urban fantasies I tried which didn't work for me. The first is Rivers of London by Ben Aronovich. I read 3. It is set in London. It has some interesting world building. I didn't love the river gods, and I found the police procedural aspect of them quite dull. It got to the point where I was not enjoying that aspect of the books. He also goes into minute detail describing, for example, traveling the streets of London. Now, perhaps if you lived in London, you'd enjoy that. But by the end of the 3rd book, I thought, I don't care. I don't care about this world. I don't care about this overarching story. Nor do I care about any of the characters. Not really. So, unfortunately, that one is another series I am not continuing with. The next one is the Checky series, I think, or Checky Files by Daniel O'Malley. The first book is The Rook. This is an Australian author. I thought I would love this. It started off so promisingly. The premise was great, but a device that the author used really took away my enjoyment of the book. There was so much info dumping, just so much of it, that I found myself really bored. I also found that as the book progressed, the characters acted more and more like teenagers and not interesting teenagers. When I finally finished the book, I thought, don't care, don't want to continue. So that is another one I am DNFing. And the 3rd urban fantasy is, I think it's called the Fitch Phillips series by Luke Arnold. The first book is The Last Smile in Sunder City. I liked the world building. The main character was not too bad, but there was just too much doom and gloom about him, and I did not find that as appealing. It's not a very long book, and whilst I did enjoy it more than The Rook, in the end I thought, I don't think I'm interested enough in the world or the characters to continue with it. So this is another DNF. But this was a good book, and I can see it appealing to some readers. It just didn't appeal to me. Number 9, Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Yeah, I almost forgot this one. I tried this series several years ago. I read the first book, had a lot of issues with it, but it was really buzzing at that time. There was a series I thought I might want to watch. I did not like the writing. I found it very immature. I found the characters very immature. It seemed much more like a YA, which didn't appeal to me. But since I got through the first, I thought I need to try the second book. Yeah, I couldn't get past the first half, I think. I just thought, no, not interested, do not like where it's going. It's more of romantasy with very young and immature characters. Did not like anything about it and didn't finish the second book. So that one is a definite DNF. I cannot see myself ever going back to that series because I had too many issues with it. And the very last series that I have DNF'd is the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson. I'd only read his books in relation to the Wheel of Time, so I thought I would try the first book in Mistborn, The Vinyl Empire, and wow, that was such a struggle for me. I had to go and find some incentive to continue because I was ready to give it up within the first 100 pages. I found the writing not to my taste. I did not love the world building or any of the characters. There were some that I tolerated, but I just thought it was bloated and uninteresting, unfortunately. But I did push through. I finished the entire book, and in the end I thought, I don't care. I don't care about the characters, and I don't care what happens in the future. Even though many people have told me that the payoff is worth it, I don't care enough to go back to it. So that is a definite DNF. I am, however, going to try Way of Kings, and I actually do have it. But my experience with the Vinyl Empire has kind of put me off a little from trying it, so it might have to wait a little while. Yeah. So that is all the series that I can remember that I've DNF'd or will not continue with. Let me know what you think. Let me know if I should go back and try any. I make no promises, of course, because for me to get to the point of deciding I don't want to continue, I really must not have liked that book or series. But perhaps I can be persuaded. And that's what I love about making these videos, is sometimes you do give me reasons to retry something that I had given up on. So let me know down in the comments if you think I should give some of these series another go. I also would love to hear what series have you given up on? Which ones are just not for you? Well, thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And if you like this video, you know what to do, right? You can like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you all have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.